welcome to our first attempt at a flipped learning video. I'm really excited to try this new idea with you, and I think this is a great place for us to start. Page 21 in your blue book, if you haven't already turned there, you should turn there now, is a page that teaches a new rhythm that's based on rhythms we already know. So this is a great opportunity for you to learn something new, but also be able to base it on something that you already know. If you haven't already warmed up, let's warm up a little bit together. We're going to start with a concert E-flat major scale. If you don't feel that you're warmed up enough at this point, please feel free to rewind and do that again, or pause it and warm up on your own. Let's start on page 21. Number 94, you'll see, has two lines of music. You'll see that it has line A and line B. Line A has rhythms that are sort of like this. Let's put the book aside for a moment, however, and do a little bit of work on our own. First, I'd like to show you these 16th notes here. We have two measures of 16th notes in 2/4. I'd like you to attempt to count and clap this rhythm right now. Don't feel silly. Nobody else is going to hear you do it, I promise. Here's your tempo. Go ahead. Ready? Go. How did you do? Let's check. If you did this, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a, then you did it correctly. Let's remember our counting by writing it down underneath notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Let's try that together. Ready? Go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Now that was a pretty easy rhythm. We've done that rhythm many times before. Now we're going to start combining 16th notes into 8th notes. Check this out. We're going to first tie the first two 16th notes of beat 1 and the first two 16th notes of beat 2. That would make what kind of note? It makes an 8th note. And you'll have to excuse the play people, they're a little noisy behind us, but let's try to stay focused on our music here. So we've got an 8th note followed by two 16th notes. You know it's an 8th note because it only has one beam. These are 16ths because they have two beams. They're twice as fast. Then we have the same rhythm over here on beat 2 as well. So the rhythm becomes 1 and a, 2 and a. You may be wondering where the E went. Remember, it's now down here in the 8th note. So really this rhythm is like this. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Let's try counting and clapping that together now that you've heard it. Again, don't feel silly counting and clapping alone. It really helps. Ready? Go. 1 and a 2 and a. Let's try that again. 1 and a 2 and a. Do you hear how the 16th notes are twice as fast as the 8th notes? Let's take a look at now measure 2. I'm going to tie two different 16th notes together to give you an 8th note in a different part of the beat. Take a look. I'm going to tie the last two 8th notes, 16th notes, excuse me, of the beat together. So now instead of having an 8th note first, we've got an 8th note last in each beat. We've got two 16th notes followed by an 8th note. And then we've got the same rhythm again over here. Excuse me, I wrote the wrong rhythm on the board. I guess even teachers make little mistakes now and again. Here's a 16th note, and an 8th note, and another 16th note. There we go. So this rhythm becomes 1E and 2E and. Where did the go? The is part of the 8th note now. The and the are actually here, so the rhythm is actually like this. Let's try counting and clapping that rhythm together, just starting here. Ready? Go. 1E and 2E and. Let's try it again. 1E and 2E and. If you're having a little trouble counting and clapping, this is an excellent spot for you to pause, rewind, and attempt to count and clap these rhythms again. What I'd like you to do now is pick up your instrument, and we are going to play these two measures on a concert E flat. The same note we started with our warm-up. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Let's try that one more time. Try to hear the differences between the two rhythms. Again, if you need to pause and rewind that, that's fine. Feel free to catch up at your own speed. Let's look over now at the blue book on page 21. Number 94. We're going to first play line A to just do the 16th notes without adding any 8th notes in there. Let's play together. 1, 2, ready, go. Don't forget to tongue all of these repetitive 16th notes and every note in this exercise. It's really important to have excellent articulation. Now that you've gotten a chance to do line A, let's count and clap line B before we attempt to play it, since it's a little new rhythm. I'll do it first, and then you can join me. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. 1E and 2E and 1E and 2. Again, we're clapping and counting line B. Join me now, please. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. 1E and 2E and 1E and 2. If you've got that, let's attempt to play it. Starting on a nice concert E flat. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's repeat that one more time. If you've got that, let's move on to exercise number 95. This is actually a Canadian folk song, as opposed to just a random exercise in the book to help you with a rhythm. It starts with 4 16th notes in a row, but then it has our 8th note 2 16th combination if you look in measure 1. I think what would help is to just count and clap the first 4 measures. Let's do this together. Ready? Go. 1E and a 2 and a 1 and 2. 1E and a 2 and a 1 and 2. If you need to pause or rewind, feel free to do so. Let's just play that much. I do want to call your attention to your key signature before you start. If you're playing a trumpet or a baritone treble clef, you have B flats and E flats. Don't forget those 2 and 3 fingerings. Now, French horns, you're starting up on a nice high E flat. You've got 3 flats in your key signature: B flat, E flat, and A flat. Remember, A flats are 2 and 3. High E flats and low E flats are both second finger. Trombones, baritones, and tubas all have 4 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, you're used to that. But now we've got D flats, D flats. Remember, trombones, your D flats are 5th position when they're in the middle of the staff. And I believe in this exercise, those are the only Ds that you have. Yes, you only have the ones in the middle of the staff. They're 5th position, not 4th position. And tubas and baritones, remember your D flats are 2 and 3, not 1 and 2. Pause here and write in any of the accidentals that you might need to succeed at this exercise. Let's attempt to play the first 4 measures now that we've had a chance to clap it and write in our key signature helpers. Here's our first note. Here we go. 1, 2, tongue it, go. How'd you do? Did you remember the flat at the end of measure 4? Did you remember the flats at the beginning of measure 3? Did you remember that there are staccato notes and articulations like accents in here? Now, if you didn't get all of those, don't feel bad. You're starting to learn a piece of music. If you miss the articulations, you can always go back when you're practicing and make sure that you put them in. Now, what I'd like to do is attempt to count and clap the rest of the piece from measure 5. It's where we left off. If you find the breath mark in measure 4, we're starting after that. I'm going to count and clap it, and then I'd like you to join me. Here's measure 5. Ready? Go. 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and 2. 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and 2. What do you say we try that together? I think I may have made a slight mistake in the 4th to last measure. I think I may have added an extra 16th note. Be careful you don't do that this time through. Join me. Ready? Go. 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 and 2. 1 E and a 2 and a 1 and 2. If you need to go back and count and clap this with me again, feel free to rewind right now. I'm going to go on. Let's start at measure 5 playing. Remember the key signature. Also check and make sure that you have your accidentals written in that you need. Here's measure 5. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's try the whole piece together. I'd like you to focus now. If you've gotten all the notes and the rhythms and you're practicing this for the 4th or 5th time this time, I'd like you to start worrying about those staccatos and the accents. Make sure that you have very good articulations. Let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, go. All right. Now, you may not have played it perfectly. I even make a mistake now and again. But the fact that you're practicing and you're going over this again and again is going to really solidify this exercise for when we try it in class. I'm going to go on to number 96 now. If you need some time to work on these 8th, 16th rhythms, please don't go on. Pause, rewind, do again what you need to do. But I'm going to go on for the sake of the time on the video. Now, I'm going to play through these exercises. When you're practicing, if you find that it's helpful to count and clap, please feel free to count and clap while you listen to me play the exercise. Here's Big Rock, Candy Mountain. Watch your key signature. We've now gone back into concert B flat. Ready? Go. A couple things to watch out for on this exercise are where you have 16th notes at the end of a measure, like measure 1, and then 16th notes again right away at the beginning of the next measure, like measure 2. Be careful that you don't pause in between the measures when you play those 16th notes. If it helps, again, count and clap. But you know what? I think it'd be really helpful if I count and clapped at least the first 4 measures for you so you can do that. Let's try this together. 1 and 2 and a 1 E and 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Do you hear how those 16th notes in measure 1 and measure 2 went right onto each other? Try counting and clapping with me. 1 and 2 and a 1 E and 2 and a 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Feel free to pause, rewind, and work on this exercise. If you need to stop the video and play it a little bit more slowly, that's fine. This is designed to go at your speed. I hope you've enjoyed the first, I hope out of many, flipped classroom videos. Please feel free below this video to add some comments, especially if you have questions. Feel free to post any questions you might have, something that's not clear, if you have a question about a note or a rhythm. Now, if you see that somebody else has a question and you know the answer, feel free to reply to them and help them out. This is a great opportunity for students to help students as well as me. But of course, I'll be happy to review the comments and give you any information you need. Feel free also to email me if you don't want to post a comment. You can always email me edunno@wyckoffschools.org. I'll make sure that my email address is right down here. And again, I hope you have fun. Watch this video, perform along with it several times until you're really solid on these exercises, and I'll see you in class.